Assalamualaikum and good evening to panel members for today's discussion. My name is Siti Aisyah binti Hamid. I am in charge as the moderator for today's discussion. Before I open the topic of our debates today, allow me to introduce our panels. Introducing our first panel, Ms. Nurul Shahira binti Ismail. How are you, Miss?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Our second panel, Ms. Farah Husna binti Anwar. How are you, Miss?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How about you, Miss Moderator?
I'm good. Our next panel, Nurul Fatiha binti Ahmad Fauzi. How are you, Miss?
Thanks for asking. I'm fine today. Thank you.
Our last panel of the day, Mr. Nur Zafi Zamani bin Nordin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, I have introduced all the panels. Let me open the topic of our discussion with an introduction. Discrimination in recruitment and selection occurs when an applicant is treated unfairly because of certain protected characteristics. The issue of racial discrimination often appears in Malaysian labor. Globalization has made today's world compete with unlimited networks. In this situation, it changes the capabilities of employees where employees must provide themselves with a lot of added value so that the organization can take advantage of their competencies. Although discrimination is common throughout the world, Malaysia is one of the countries that has a high rate of discrimination against applicants in the recruitment process. This conducts us with the topic, Time to End Racial Discrimination in Employment Practice in Malaysia. Without further ado, I open our discussion today with the first panel, Professor Shahira.
Thank you, moderator. I agree that discrimination among races is a big issue in Malaysia and it can affect all people, including those who want to apply for jobs. One of the big issues in discrimination is influential of resumes. This issue combines various elements regarding discrimination, issues related to age, gender, race, religion, and this happen is because most companies have their own preference on selecting their future employees. The research found that Bumi Putra fresh graduates are discriminated against in the private sector. The assumptions state were supported by Dr. Muhammad Abdul Khalid and Dr. Lee Huan Au study, and some point that being highlighted is about a survey from JobStreet regarding unrealistic salary expectation, poor attitude, personality, and communication skill in content of 53 until 72%, and most employees will select candidates that have more experience than fresh graduate because they need to invest more in training the new employee, and they want to cut the cost as much as they can. Companies seek the best candidate to ensure they can keep up with any changes. Proficiency in third language has become one of the major elements candidates chase to master because companies are usually biased against candidates that speak the Mandarin language. In addition, Chinese candidates are most likely to be called after the interview session. In a study by Ho Aun Lee and Muhammad Abdul Khalid stated that an above average CGPA Malay graduate is less likely to be called than a below average CGPA Chinese graduate. This is due to the company requirement on the job role to favor Chinese applicants. So we can see here that the issue of influence on resume can affect people who are seeking a job, especially for the fresh graduate that want to work in the private sector. All of the supporting evidence that I discovered leads me to believe and prove that influential of resumes is a big issue in racial discrimination regarding hiring practice in Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you, moderator.
Thanks to the first panel, very interesting content. We continue with the second panel, which is Dr. Farah.
Thank you, Miss Moderator. Before I start, allow me to say that your appearance is vital to who you are. It's the way you present yourself, the first thing someone sees, and how people judge you. In the context of appearance discrimination, it refers to discrimination based on a person's physical appearance. Although it is a new concept, it has become increasingly important in modern work. There is a little doubt that there is a growing acceptance of previously forbidden physical expression. Discrimination during the recruitment process does occur. This is against the law. Many federal and state laws prohibited discrimination against employees and job seekers on the basis of race, religion, color, national religion, etc. It is forbidden to make hiring decisions based on character. Decisions regarding employment should be based on the job seeker's capacity to achieve the job and their interview skills. Employers should not make hiring decisions based on protected qualities. In recent years, there have been too many reports of appearance discrimination, especially involving hijab wearing workers. For example, in 2013, some supermarket businesses near KLCC refused to serve veiled Muslim women. This is because, for them, wearing a hijab is a relic of the past. Also, due to the worldwide SOP being too strict, there are a number of hotels that do not allow the wearing of headscarf at work in 2017. This is completely absurd because we are using Malaysian laws rather than foreign laws. Furthermore, Malaysia Airlines, the country's largest airline, does not allow Muslim female employees, especially flight attendants, to wear hijab. The issue of discrimination based on appearance has been a hot topic in recent years. Women who wear hijab, like everyone else, want to have profession and successful. As a result, discrimination based on appearance should be prohibited in this country, especially during the hiring process. This is because women who wear hijab also want to be treated like everyone else instead of being ignored. Everyone deserves to be given the same opportunity to work, especially in the professional sector. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks to the second panel, such a strong content. We continue with the third panel, which is Dr. Fatiha.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moderator. I will now proceed with my point of view on another major issue surrounding racial discrimination regarding hiring practice in Malaysia, which is negative stereotyping. It is common and somewhat normalized, whether it is in the workplace, while renting out property, or even in social interactions. People of a certain race are grouped together regardless of individual distinctions, and the same presumptive negative traits are applied to all members of the race. According to Barak, a stereotype is a common mental image that is shared by people in the same group and is standardized and generalized. But because people prefer to draw negative assumptions rather than positive ones, stereotyping is frequently seen as having a bad reputation. Stereotyping frequently carries a negative connotation that is foolish and unethical. Stereotypes may not always guarantee accuracy since they may occasionally be off the mark or based on incorrect information. There was a study conducted among personnel who represented management at Kuala Lumpur's hotels. The question was, how do you think nationality affects management effectiveness at your workplace? They say that the Malaysian workforce places a strong emphasis on a person's degree of experience. According to them, having international exposure means being experienced. Unfortunately, Malaysian society has a strong belief that locals are somewhat lacking in comparison to expatriates. Thus, it becomes difficult for the locals to get hired in higher positions because expats are typically given preference in many areas, especially when applying for senior management positions in hotels. That is all I have to share. Thank you very much.
Thanks to the third panel, we continue our discussion today with the fourth panel, Dr. Nozafi, to explain what strategies we can do to prevent discrimination in employment in Malaysia.
Thank you to Ms. Moderator. Now, I would like to share about the strategies to eliminate discrimination based on the topic and point given by all panels. First strategies we need to make initiative to learn third language, especially Mandarin, as it was the highest rate of demand and employers seek in the candidates. Learning a new language not only broadens your knowledge, but it can also upgrade your personal value, as many private sectors mostly require candidates to have at least basic Mandarin, that it will appear as if the candidate will more favorable than the one who didn't have any additional third language knowledge. Second strategies, in this case, it should be necessary to apply rules to equalize hijab and non-hijab women in their field of work. Everyone has an ability in different way. Not everyone has the same abilities as others. What differentiates them is their behavior and how they apply them. The existing diversity makes the development of the company possible. Various background and points of view, experience, ethnicity actually help to shape new colors in the workplace. Companies that want to conduct a hiring process should consider the qualification of the candidates who come in addition to the other factors. So the last strategies, building networking can broaden your capabilities to engage with every opportunity. The candidates need to make extra effort on ensuring they build networking since their study time because it will be beneficial to them for a long term. Negative stereotypes happens because the culture and environment around them agree on the matter. To destroy this stereotype, every candidate needs to have a strategy on making a wise and continuous networking. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks to our last panel for the very clear content and description just now. What we can conclude from the four panels earlier is that discrimination in recruitment and selection does happen in our country, and it is a topic that is often talked about. This issue combines various elements regarding issues of discrimination related to age, gender, race, religion, and others. Companies look for the best candidates to ensure they can keep up with the major changes in technology and workload for the roles they have open. Many federal and state laws prohibit discrimination against employees and job seekers based on race, religion, color, and national origin. Decision regarding employment should be based on the job seeker's capacity. The issue of discrimination based on appearance has become a hot topic in recent years. As a result, discrimination based on appearance should be prohibited in the industry. Take the initiative to learn a third language, especially Mandarin, as it is the highest demand rate employers look for in their candidates. Since most of the private sector requires candidates to have at least basic Mandarin, a candidate would be a better off than one who has no knowledge of an additional third language. Therefore, this issue of discrimination should be taken lightly before it becomes more severe. Thank you. Hope we can see you in the future. Thank you for lending us your ears to listen to our discussion today.